How about that?
Beautiful, eh? Yeah.
He's a beauty, eh?
Hi, I'm Lois Mkize, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Joburg Today. I am your host, Leroy Viaggi. The opening of the Almost Human exhibition made this Africa Day a historic one in Maropeng. This is the largest assemblage of hominid fossils on public display ever and tells the story of the discovery of the Homo Naledi fossils in the cradle of mankind.
Yay. Thank you very much. You can see the scanners and equipment in the background that allowed us to create the first reconstructions of this material. These are actually the first 3D prints of that material. Further explanation of the science and discussion of how we came to conclusions, as well as skulls that you can actually touch. We'll be holding the tourists in this holding area. There's a countdown clock that will go off so that we're fair about the time. I think most people understand that when we did this the last time, there were queues of up to 4 hours to actually see the Homo Naledi material, so that we do limit the time that a group can have with the material. That's also from a safety perspective as we move into this. Remember that this is a privileged location. You are about to see the largest display of fossil hominids ever put before the public in history. And there are thousands of remains that remain in that chamber that we're leaving for future scientists and future investigations in that. It truly is a remarkable privilege to see that. I think that we're particularly proud that just 2 weeks after the announcement to the world that this assemblage existed, the people of South Africa and Africa and the world can actually come and see the real thing. That in itself is an unprecedented privilege. Most discoveries like this are just singular finds. You saw, I think just 2 or 3 days ago, it was announced to the world that someone thought they had found a hominid outside of Africa at 7.2 million years, based on a single fragmentary mandible with no teeth in it. Place that in the perspective of what you're looking at here, and you understand how truly remarkable this assemblage is within the context of the search for human origins.
Be a part of the conversation by liking our Facebook page. That's joburgtoday.tv, and follow the real trend in Joburg on our Twitter account at Joburg Today. Next, we hear from the man behind the discovery, Dr. Lee Berger, as well as the people who run the Cradle Experience.
So we've used a combination of real artifacts from the expeditions to 3D dioramas to audio-visual remains to, you can even watch the footage. If you want to stand here for 21 days, you can watch all the underground footage that we took underground from the cameras that I was watching in the command center at the top, all the way through to panel interpretations, so you can read about the science, but you get a real feeling that you're there, I hope, at least. That's the intent of the exhibition, and also to get you to appreciate the effort that went in to collecting this remarkable assemblage of ancient human relatives.
What the science is saying is that all modern people today can trace their ancestry back to the African continent, and to have it opening on Africa Day is truly special.
I think it is critically important to put the real things on display for the message of authenticity. People want to see the real thing, authentic things. If they come and just see casts, first, I think they understand that and they know it, even the best casts. Secondly, I think it's important that we share these fossils, these ancient human relatives, with the world. That the real thing. These things are precious objects that tell us about where we come from.
What happens is when the scientists discover the fossils, they usually take them back into the lab, analyze them in some dark corner. But Professor Lee Berger has changed that around. He's opened it up using social media, using modern technology, opened it up not only for scientists throughout the world, but also your ordinary people like you and I, who have an interest in the subject and who can go in, read the papers, make your own analysis about things. And even some scientists sitting in some faraway place in China has access to the documentation, has access to the research. And it just throws a completely new and progressive light on how how the science can be opened up to the public.
I hope that what they take away is a life-changing experience. That after you've gone through this journey that we scientists have gone through, we explorers have gone through, and you see the original fossils, the real thing, I hope you take away a profound sense of being humbled by the depth of time and diversity of evolution that's taken for us to get here today.
Part and this part. Okay.
I'm Zondi Lengubeni and you're watching Joburg Today.
Well, that's it for today's show. But if you want to know more about what's happening in and around Johannesburg, you need to check out our playlist. From me, Leroy, and the guys behind the scenes. Till next time.